My philosophy is that there's no shortcuts. You need to learn step by step. Looking at our population, 143 crores. For that, we have only 800 aircraft, 800, 850 aircraft right now. India will have its century this decade for aviation. You need to divide that problem into at least 4 to 5 different phases. One problem is not one problem. Every day is a new day in airport. I cannot put a same yardsticks to every day. Every challenge is an opportunity. But what I've seen, most of our people, our friends, don't take challenge as an opportunity. They take challenge as a difficult. Nothing is impossible. That's I believe that nothing is impossible for a human being.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Believe in Future Amazing Mentor, the show where we dive into narratives of those who architect the tomorrow we dream of. I am your host Gaurav Garg, the founder of this expedition into the realm of innovation, mentorship and visionary foresight. In today's episode, we are privileged to welcome Mr. Vijay Bhushan. He boasts an impressive career spanning over 29 years in airport operation and leadership roles within the airline industry. With experience in renowned airlines like Jet Airways and Emirates, he has cultivated expertise in various domains such as customer experience, team building, crisis management, and strategic planning. Starting from his academic journey in Madhya Pradesh and later pursuing post-graduation in marketing and sales management and entrepreneurship, Vijay has constantly focused on enhancing his skills and knowledge. His tenure at Jet Airways, where he served as an airport manager, was marked by significant achievements such as successfully opening 5 online stations and implementing cost-saving projects. His strategic approach to airport operations led to enhanced operational effectiveness and maintained service quality. Transitioning to Emirates as an airport service manager, Mr. Bhushan continued to excel in leadership, particularly in crisis management and safety. His role involved heading airport operation at Trivandrum, where he led team from Emirates and ground handling, emphasizing customer experience, operation excellence and people development. Additionally, Mr. Bhushan's involvement as a chairman of the Airline Operators Committee in Trivandrum demonstrates his commitment to industry collaboration and improvements. Under his leadership, the committee focused on facilitating dialogue, education, and advancement in airport operation, leading to notable achievements such as the approval of the inline baggage screening system and the introduction of automated baggage reconciliation system. Overall, Mr. Vijay Bhushan career reflects a strong blend of leadership, operational excellence, and protective approach to addressing challenges in dynamic aviation industry. His commitment to continuous improvement and collaborative efforts underscore his effectiveness in driving positive change within airport operation. It's a pleasure to welcome Mr. Vijay Bhushan to our show Amazing Mentor. Welcome, sir. Tell us some of your favorite subjects from your school time and why that particular subject was your favorite.
To be very frank, I'm in deep south of India and my childhood and my schooling was done in central part of India, that is Madhya Pradesh. And being in Madhya Pradesh, small places we lived, and my father was a government servant. When we talk about schooling, I schooled in government school as well as English medium school also. So my basic interest in subjects were basically mathematics and social studies and history. So that was my taste during my school days. And yes, basic was mathematics. I don't know where it came in, but yes, maths was my interesting subject.
So any memorable, notice moment from your college days?
My memorable thing, what happened, the government college organized science exhibition and where I could display in the science exhibition as a second year student of maths, the Star Wars. I remember, I don't know, the present people not know the Star Wars. The US had come with a big project called Star Wars. I was much interested in that thing. So I could gather a lot of information, brought into a chart and displayed in the school. And the college being in the heart of the city, and we had a lot of external people came and visited and they were interested. We had a big crowd. So I believe this was one of the very rare moments as a student where you are recognized by the public, and I believe I could explain a lot of things. An interesting part, how the missiles will attack, how it works out. It was a pictured on a diagram and a plane. So that I feel was one of the memorable moments in my life in my college days.
So can we say that Star Wars project was the impact that you have joined the aviation industry?
No, I will not say that. Basically, for me, aviation was an accidentally thing I came because being in Madhya Pradesh, aviation was never a dream for anybody, like staying in living in a small places, no airports. To be very honest, till I joined Jet Airways in '93, I never seen an aircraft or airport. Actually, we belong to Trivandrum. So after my father's return, we came down, and here we saw the new thing, how aviation was growing. So that attracted me, and basically my intention was to join army. And being in central part of India, almost everybody's dream was Air Force, Army, to join NDA or your IMA or any other military academy. So that was a dream. But while transition from central to south, after my father, that was a moment it clicked. And luckily, I think maybe I was just into aviation. That was the reason.
So, did you ever get into trouble for a prank or mischief activity in your school?
I believe I was very matured guy in school days and very quiet and kept away most of the things. I will never say I was a very smart and a very highly was doing well in my studies. I was an average student who was doing my struggle. I had struggled my studies. Being maths, yes, I used to struggle a lot to get marks also. But yes, I could completely, very decently, not very high, but yes, average decently. So I think I never went for any of mischievous or anything activities during my school days.
So, who was your biggest inspiration during your childhood and why?
Beautiful thing I would like to say that my school days, my father, he used to subscribe Times of India, and we used to get it used to come from Delhi, so it used to come one day behind, not the same day newspaper. So in that days, I'm talking of 80s, 81, 82, 83 up to when I completed my college in 88. So that was the time. So that newspaper reading had a lot of that business column had inspired me a lot. I got attracted in the corporate world, how different things were said across and how people achievements were shown. And that had attracted me. But I never wanted to go into business until I did my post-graduation in marketing and sales management. So during that was a transition from when my father was about to retire and we were in South. So that was a transition time that was the time I got attracted to the corporate world. But till such time, the main aim was to army. In fact, I wrote the TDS, Combined Defense Services. So in fact, I didn't get it. But my father never wanted me to go to join any defense forces. With that, I got actually selected for the Staff Selection Commission for the BSF as a sub-inspector. But finally, he didn't allow me to join there. So definitely it was not a destiny for me, but yes, I believe aviation was for me. That's the reason I'm here today.
So, apart from army, what was your dream profession you want to be when you grow up?
My friends who were there with me, their parents were from army. So that was one of the reasons. Plus, after the army, it was engineering basically. My father was a civil engineer. He said, "You're recently doing a good job, good in math, so you can do." But unfortunately, I never got through the entrance into the Madhya Pradesh state engineering entrance. But in fact, he said Maharashtra had a lot of private engineering colleges where you could get an admission. But I said, no, I think I'm not destined to be an engineer, because I could not get selected. So let me not waste your money, and I'll be doing a normal BSc course in a government college. That will be much better for me. But I believe maybe God has set me a destiny that slowly taking me to the south and bringing to the aviation field.
So, any of your favorite childhood story or fairy tale?
Not much of fairy tale because we were alone. It was a nuclear family in my parents, father and mother, and father was busy with his job, and mother being a housewife. Not much of the grandparents were not with us, so not a fairy tales. But my father was a little more religious. So every day evening we used to read Valmiki Ramayana every day evening 7:30, and Ramayana had a lot of impact on me. And that has Maryada Purushottam Ram. That was the thing which came into mind. And I used to be more into that way, thinking which is not wrong, it should not be done. So I think rather fairy tales, the religious Ramayana had a lot of impact on me. I always say truth has to be there. Say always the truth, never say anything wrong. So what happens later, I realized that yes, that was something which, because when you say we are big transparent, you become more clear. You can sleep, have better sleep, and when you come to the corporate, you are free. You have to worry anything later. What you said once is going to the same thing. So Ramayana had a lot of impact on my life, and I still continue it.
So, did you have any special tradition or ritual in your family while growing up?
Basically, I'll tell you, being a South Indian, the Sabrimala trips, I never used to have a regular. After my college days, I used to come every year. So the Sabrimala trip, you must have known, that was one of the things which made us more like 41 days Vratam, which you have to keep it. That had a lot of impact. The power, the mental calmness has brought us a lot of things during that day. So that was one of the rituals. And basically, South Indian temples are more when we come down to South. We see one of the most temples which are like not like north where we can go into the scantum scantorum and touch the deity, but in south you cannot. You have to stand away, and the puja vidhi vidhans are totally different. And here it is basically what I've seen difference between north and south is north you have mantras, are here is tantra, and all the pujas are done through tantric vidhis. So I believe that has also that given me a life lesson many of the places. So the temples, yes. And now I'm here. We have the biggest temple in Trivandrum and the richest temple in the world. Padmanabha Swami temple is in Trivandrum. So that was our guiding factor.
So, what was your first job after completing your education, and how did you land in it?
When I came down, my father said, because I was trying to, after my postgraduate marketing and sales management, in fact, I got into Dabur as a regional trainee for a regional area. And they said, because we just transited from central to South India, but I could not get my certificates and all, and only the mark sheet came for me, the certificate never came. So they wanted to see my certificate. Being South, they said, no, you studied and how we know. So they gave me 7 days. I said 7 days impossible. Taking a train, going to the university, coming back, it takes minimum 10 to 12 days. I cannot. So that was my first opportunity. I remember Dabur, India, but I could not get joined there because I was offered the job. But later, my first job in the aviation is the Jet Airways, and it was in 1992 September. I was posted in Coimbatore, but the project was slowly getting delayed because of some regulatory approvals. We are told that, and finally we could join in February 5th in Bangalore. But still, the project got delayed, and which realized only May 5th, 1993. So Jet Airways is my first job. I joined as a customer service agent at the airport. That was a very thing which everybody dreamt of, going to the airport, flying aircrafts, being into the aircraft. So that was something which we were all looking. So yes, it was a dream job. I did a short-term course from Trivandrum in terms of a diploma in aviation. So that was a local diploma, but recognized by the Tourism Department of Kerala. So that was my first step towards aviation. And the first posting was in Coimbatore. And it was a first aircraft it has a big story for Jet Airways, first station, and our first flight from Bombay to Coimbatore landed in a wrong airfield. So that was my first job. And I worked for 18 years with Jet Airways continuously and left the opportunity in Emirates.
So, how was your experience when you received your first paycheck?
I started with a 2,500 a consolidated salary. Initially, they gave us 6 months time and they said 6. Now, it was something which we felt that, yes, something which big for us at that time when people used to say, I'm in an airline. And we looked at that time, Air India, Indian Airlines to be the greatest airline. And in South, in Trivandrum, we had the Gulf Air, one of the premium carriers here. They used to fly at that time in Trivandrum. It was very nice to see that it was, as you said, it was a check. It was a check, not a can. We had to open an account in Canara Bank and deposited in Coimbatore. Yes.
So, were there any challenges you faced in transitioning from college life to professional world?
When we do college, we are students. We actually have a support of the family, support of our elders at the college and our professors. When you come out, you are totally in an independent area. You are given freedom and you are given a task. You have to complete that task and come back. You have a management leadership, people around you. But for Jet Airways, what happened, it was a very unique thing. We had one station manager and rest all were fresh, new people. Only 4 or 3 people who had a background from travel agency. With me, there are other people also were totally fresh from the farm into the professional field. Yes, it was everyday learning. We struggled. We used to go and open the office in the morning and close in the 8 o'clock in the night. So that And it is our airline, and we used to discuss. The people used to ask, "Do you own this airline or what?" Yes, I said, "Yes, we own the airline. Then only it can fly." And luckily, management had created that environment and given that level of thing that Jet Airways, I think, could bring that level of impact to the staff. That yeah, it's owned by you. You need to run that airline, and the commitment, the dedication, and the thing given by each individuals to that airline. I don't think any airline in the world will able to get that level of commitment by the staff there to bring to that level. 25 years it flew. Yes, it was something great.
So, what were some of the most important lessons you learned during your early years of workforce?
Basically, we could learn a lot of things. I did my postgraduate diploma in marketing and sales. So that gave me a lot of ideas when we started slowly doing it. So how to learn business, how to go into specialize in each area. So not only doing interaction as one of the key expertise, I strongly believe that I have is customer engagement and customer experience. So this is what we Indians from the eastern side could give. Like if you go to Singaporeans, basically, I believe the best people are from the Far East, who are Indonesians, Singaporeans, and Thais, the best. Then we fall Indians and Sri Lankans who can beat. So giving experience to the customer is a major thing. What I believe in aviation is that more than what they should get that privilege. Yes, wow, I'm in this area. This is what I expected to be, and this is what I'm getting it. So being in Emirates, we have that value for money, and the wow environment has to be given to the customers, and that's why we are in the top 5 always around the world. So during my Jet Airways days, I have learned so many things. We struggled every day. My idea was to learn. There's no shortcuts. We need to learn hard way. Get into each individual things wherever possible. Go and learn from the till 2005 and 6, Google was not that prominent. We never used to get, but we used to get only the scriptures and books. We used to learn and start learning. Now, after 2008 and 9, only the Google was more prominent and we started using it. So I believe my philosophy is that there's no shortcuts. You need to learn step by step, and every step has to go with detail. So that's the learning I have put it across. Now I'm 31 years with aviation from 93 to 2024.
So, what were some of the key milestones or achievements you have reached during your early stage of career?
From the day one, we were approximately 20 people who were selected in airline. There's a separate department called load and balance. When an aircraft flies, aircraft has to be equally managed. The center of gravity of the aircraft has to be fixed at a place where the best fuel utilization and best takeoff and landing can happen so that the aircraft is safe. So for that, you need to distribute the loads like passenger seatings and the dead load. That means the baggage and cargo is loaded equally in different places of the aircraft. So that's the part of a ground service department, and persons have been selected and trained and licensed by the regulatory authority. Yeah, he is approved to do that document that's called load and balance. So I was one of the first Jet Airways staff who was selected and was successfully doing almost my 10 to 12 years. Till I was duty manager, I still was doing that particular function. So I believe that was one of the major achievements for me during my initial days. Then Jet Airways, initially the safety was not that focused in Jet Airways, but later as we grew bigger, the safety was, and so I also started specializing on how safety and crisis management. These are the two things aviation people have to be clear, because we say an unexpected can happen to any time in aviation. It is processed, goes on SOPs, but anything can go wrong anytime. But that doesn't mean we need to bring the business continuity as fast as possible. So that is the time you need to have this safety and crisis management as your key subjects, where you can bring it back to as soon as possible. So I believe these two things was my initial learnings. I believe that was one of the most confident things I could do it. And the third, I believe, my communication skill from my school days, the readings what I have done, the English newspaper, I believe that gave me being studied in Hindi medium school as well as Hindi medium colleges. A very short period I studied in English medium school. So, but being in Madhya Pradesh, you know how English can be utilized to communicate. So, but the communication skill, I totally put it on the reading, which from my 8th standard onwards, I used to do it. That gave me the confidence. And later in meetings with management, and I put it clear, in the third year, we had an assessment center. They wanted to promote people. So I was selected as a duty manager from there, the third year of my service with Jet Airways. So I believe one of the reasons was the communication skill I could achieve initial years of Jet Airways.
So did you face any setbacks or obstacles along the way, and how did you overcome them?
Definitely, when we work in an environment of volatile where we see in India, aviation is just it's in the childhood stage. I joined, it was infancy. Now we have childhood. Thanks to the government after 2014, there are a lot of steps have been put, but still, I believe we have a lot of trouble because of the infrastructure issues where numbers have gone up and the airports are not able to manage. I give an example. I started my career with Coimbatore as an airport. It's a small airport at that time. Now it's made big. It is one of the model airports in India. It has had double the capacity what is there now. So think of the infrastructure constraints. So this is one of the major thing we need to work as the crowd goes up during the season. We need to work the tentative arrangements, work with airport operator, work with regulatory authorities that this has to be done, immigration, customs. We liaise with them. So this is one of the major things we liaise to ensure that passengers not face through the airport each touch points. So this is a routine thing now. We work out and SOPs are there, but it doesn't work out. You need to fix the local at that point what we can do it. So I believe these are the couple of things we face at Indian airports. Now thanks, we have new airport which has been seamless. Example, Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi, Hyderabad, and we are looking Trivandrum and other private airports going to come up which can change the scenario. But I still believe, looking at our population, 143 crores, for that we have only 800 aircraft, 850 aircraft right now. If we compare US, which is 33 crore population country, and 6,000 to 7,500 aircraft in bandwidth of that, we have another 2% or 3% in a short period start flying. Our airports will be cannot handle that. So that's why if you look at all the metros, airport are coming with a second airport, and government has planned another new 100 airports which is going to be operational very soon. India will have its century this decade for aviation, and we should, our young generation which is going to be there, they should grab that opportunity.
So did you have any mentor or role model who guided you in your professional development, and how did they impact your journey?
I never took anybody as a role model. There are two things which I always looked at. I felt myself that let me become a role model for others. So first thing was mine for that. If I want to become a role model for others, I need to put my 100% in different things so that people should be able to copy me. I will never say copy, look at me as yes, something different. So that's one aspect of my thinking. Second, I'm definitely flattened by the Singaporean people because I was lucky to work in Doha Airport. I lucky with Jet Airways. I had a lot of Singaporean management people. They are fantastic. How they work. They're so systematic and not so accommodative. You can go and talk to him. Then his boss, this is my problem and how I can work. I feel this is the right way I can do it. And this, can you give me, guide me? So I've seen them. They will come to you. They will, okay, if they're busy, yes, I will call you back and come to me at this time. Or if they're free, we will discuss, which has given me that level. So I believe I've never chosen one as a role model, but definitely the Singaporeans' work culture has been a biggest role model for me, which I still practice. And the transparency, best communication skill, be with common people so that there's no hierarchy. Hierarchy is only for taking decisions. Rest, when we work, it should be the same. So that's what I've learned from them. So for me, Singaporeans, management people whom I worked under them were best role models for me.
So how did your early experience shape the professional you are today?
Jet Airways was one of the best places where we good role model. And thanks to the airline, they brought a lot of top class management people into that. We have Singaporeans, we have British, we have Europeans. So that had influenced us a lot, their working style, the communication style. And in fact, Mr. Goyal, we should thank him. His leadership had brought so many good people in that one. Even we have a lot of Emirati nationals working, Arabs working with us in Jet Airways. So it was a mix of talents, and that talents had guided us to be the best and look each thing how a customer can benefit. That was a basic idea, and we all had it. You do something which only customer should benefit, and we should also do gives a seamless. We are also better, but customer gets best of what they are paying for. That was one of the reasons I believe we could do better.
So, what were the biggest challenges you encountered during your early stage of career?
Very honestly, till my 22 years of my age, I was in Madhya Pradesh. I never knew Malayalam or Tamil good. The first thing to become a local person, so identify among the locals, is to learn the language in a local way. Being a Malayali, now you have seen most of Malayalis also don't speak, were born in northern part and central part of India. But my thing was how to adapt to the local situation, know the local people. Number two was the relationship. The one of the best thing I learned from Madhya Pradesh is that hospitality. How, when you go to a house, the first thing they offer you a glass of water. That was about a catching point, which I don't think any part of the southern India doesn't follow, or any part of the other world doesn't follow, which I've seen. So that is Atithi Devo Bhava. That was one of the things which had attracted me. Adaptability, interpersonal relationship with the people, and communication. So these are things which I changed, put myself and adapted to the situation. Yes, a lot of challenge. I believe that being in Coimbatore, Tamil was a great difficulty. I knew Malayalam, but Malayalam and Tamil is different, two different dialects, and I need to communicate. So I used Hindi was the most commonly used language, so I could survive. But yes, slowly adopted it, changed it, and learning was the most important thing. To learn the business, learn the tricks of the trade was the most important, with no shortcuts. That was a thing we think, yes, as a challenge, learning the regulatory issues, because there are many things it's only we heard and we have been told, nothing was written. There was no documents to go through. So that was one of the things which regulatory thing. But after going to Doha, the internet gave us a lot of opportunity to learn the regulatory requirements, and if you are we need to follow the regulatory requirements very clearly to ensure that airline does its business properly. So I believe challenges, yes, but there's no shortcuts. I believe you need to really go into the depth of every problem, find a solution, come back. That's the thing.
So, in your opinion, what are the essential skills that every professional should possess to succeed in his early days?
First point I will give for is communication. See, maybe in the initial stage, we might not know the business, but you assume certain things as we enter that business area. So if you are able to communicate your new things to the management and your surroundings, I believe that anybody should do the communication. You should be able to do a seamless communication, convince your people this is what I believe in, and never say that this is right, but you should be able to say this is what I believe, and I'm not sure is right or wrong, but this is what I believe in. So that will help you in a transparent way, so that people around you tell, no, this is not, can be done in a different way. So communication spans the one. Number two is a teamwork. Teamwork, when you go to a new area, a teamwork is the total. If I take today also, after 31 years, I stand behind. In a crisis only I should stand first. Otherwise, all other things, the team stands forward and I stand behind. So it's a teamwork, guiding the team, being as a part of team is the most important thing. And third one is, as I said, adaptability. You need to adapt to the situation. So these are the three things I believe should be able to, for a new person, initial years will guide them to a very successful long-term journey.
So, can you share an example of a challenge you faced in your early career and how did you tackle it?
every day is a challenge. But yes, I will never forget one of the challenge which I felt actually really it was a big challenge happened in Doha. I was an international posting in Doha to start at the station, and like any Middle East countries, Doha is also with a full of Indian crowd, and Jet Airways used to fly 3 daily flights into Doha, Bombay, Delhi, Cochin, and Calicut, 4 flights. So much crowd moving, and there are 2 seasons. One is the vacation season in June, July, and second is your Christmas vacation. These are the 2 vacations at peak. So, and all this crowd plan their vacation at least 6 months and 8 months in advance. So they buy their ticket, keep everything ready for their travel for the vacation. They leave everything. So one of the flights during Christmas vacation period. I remember it was a Trivandrum Bombay flight, and I was in the station. I was airport manager only, so I was in the station, and the counter supervisor comes and said, "Flight is closed. Seats are over." It was a 154-seater aircraft, 28 first business class and 126 economy, and I can see another 100 people standing in the queue in the check-in counter. I said, "How it can be?" Then we slowly went to the counter, and I asked one of our team members to go and check each ticket. Is it Jet Airways ticket or somebody else coming standing wrongly? When they said yes, everybody carrying a Trivandrum Bombay ticket. Then we slowly took, we understood something gone wrong. So I took some time, called my boss, who was the general manager of the country. I told boss there's something wrong. Something is wrong, very serious. We have another 100 more passengers standing outside the check-in area for check-in, and we don't have flight is full. We took in the inventory 156, 154 passengers checked in. There's no other seats available, he said. Then I called and at that time the operational head used to be seated in Bombay. I called him, I said, "This is the thing and the problem." He said, "Okay, now what is your plan of action?" I said, "My plan of action is now we need to release the aircraft which are on ground, close the flight and send." So I told my supervisor, "Now you all go to the boarding area, complete the process, release the flight without any delay. I am here to take care of the passenger." I called, and in foreign countries, you don't have your own team. You have handled through a ground handling company. So I called one of the 2 senior managers. I said, then I took up on a higher level platform. I said, I went and made an announcement that I'm sorry, there's a big something gone wrong. The sincere apologies. And I called the police also. They also came because people can go wrong anytime. So I said, we have something gone wrong. We are investigating it. So now at this point, I cannot transfer you any other flight. All the flights going is full. I will request you, my action plan is that we will take you tomorrow on this flight. As how can you take it? I said, that's my plan. At this moment, I will not able to tell how I'm going to do it. But I promise you that I will ensure that you will be on tomorrow's flight. A lot of people had, I said, no, I have no time to discuss with you. Let us not. I will deploy my team to take the entire details of your phone number, everything. We'll come back to you by tomorrow morning. We let us settle down. And luckily, I don't know what happened. They all got impressed the way I spoke. Then there are a couple of, they came. I said, "Sir, sorry, I have to work for you tomorrow's job. If I don't invest my time on rectifying the thing right now, the 3 aircrafts on ground, they had a Cochin flight, a Delhi flight, and Bombay flight. I have to release them now, and I will come back to you. Please give your details to our team. They will collect and keep everything." So we worked. Next day morning, we had a conference call with our management, my general manager and my VP. I said, no option. We have to operate one ferry flight because these people have taken a lot of pain. I know how pains because I'm there for 1 year now. Let us operate one ferry flight, take them back, because otherwise their entire holiday, because they have booked hotels, they're going home, but they have their other friends, relatives, they booked everything. It's on one day they will able to help us, but don't do. Then as usual, corporate, no, they don't. I said, my boss, VP came, said, no, what Vijay says is right. We have to work on putting one down. Let us decide now that one flight will go tomorrow morning. If we are talking in the morning, the evening to Doha, and take the pass. Agreed. Then they said, how will you get a permission? I said, definitely. Give me 2 hours time, I will get a permission. My boss was sitting next to me, the general manager. He said, then we went to civil aviation authorities that we have a problem. They all understood something went wrong. They approved within half an hour to 1 hour. We got approvals from the regulatory authorities in Doha and sent all approvals to DGCA that this is approved. By afternoon, flight was ready and we ferried that aircraft and we used regular flight which came for regular booked passenger. This very flight, they said, no, how will I said, I promise you, you will be checked in. We will start the check-in at, we started check-in 3 o'clock, tell them sent in. The flight came at 5 or 6 in the evening, early than the regular scheduled flight. And they saw that, said, how I said, you are going, don't worry, we are giving you a boarding pass now. So that was one of the greatest challenge we investigated, and finally something went wrong in the reservation system, somewhere, some flaw, and that was identified. So this was one of the, and I don't know, I think it was the God's wish that I could communicate, and the system and everybody supported us. Even the Qatar Airways, who is a national carrier, they also came up to us. Vijay, you want anything? We will help you. So, but that was one of the greatest thing. And end of the day, the idea was the passenger should not lose more than a day in his care. So that was, I believe, one of the biggest challenge I ever faced. After that, we had many other things which I would like to tell you later also now after this one.
So how did you approach problem solving and decision making when confronted with difficult situations?
I believe the truth is the most important and the most powerful tool. Go and tell the truth to the passenger. What happens is you don't have to change your versions every time. So any problem comes, go and tell this is the problem, but I will definitely find solution for it. Give my time. Now, if you want to tell me, abuse me, you can do it. But that's not for you. I know things have gone wrong. We apologize. Whatever things you can write to customer affairs and everything, we'll solve it. But allow us to do work for you so that we can find solution at the earliest. And that is the passenger front. Second, bring the team. Do actually a brainstorm. How better we can do best service. So it's not only there are people around you who can give you better ideas and utilize, and now that is your thing. That idea is how to convert into reality. That is how your experience works. So I believe the truth is a powerful tool. Being transparency to the passenger. Passenger definitely we understand. Today also we have seen that experts have difficulty. Go and tell the truth. They will abuse you because they are in a place where they are losing definitely their travel. They have come to travel. But take their into your mind, be true, be humble with them. After some time they will understand. They will be with you, they will support you. And we have received many appreciation how we handle many things. So I believe strongly truth and transparency with your customer is more important than anything else.
So have you ever been in a situation where you have to go against your management to solve a challenge?
Very honestly, I have both the airlines. Both are passenger friendly. And at these places, what I'm in a frontline management, so what they give that much freedom. So what do we talk? We talk on behalf of the management, considering the revenue where we should not lose the revenue as well as we should benefit the passenger. These are the basic fundamental things we put as an SOP and work for solution. So definitely it's a win-win situation for both. And there are times we need to break the SOPs where we liaise with the operator, we liaise with the stakeholders. Baba, help us, which we have to break it. I'm giving a hotel accommodation, which is not to the purview of the management, that as the SOP we cannot give. We go talk the hotel, we have given you business. Why don't we give one hotel accommodation free to that customer? So we used to liaise and use that as a tool to benefit customers. So that has helped us in most, and luckily both organizations I have never no issues and they were supportive for all in front. So I think no airline does it. If you take a stand and go ahead and do, basically no airline would love to have a bad name. So definitely they will support you. And agenda is that we should not lose revenue. That's one thing.
So what criteria do you use to prioritize your challenges to address first?
When I go for a problem solving thing, I believe you need to divide that problem into at least 4 to 5 different phases. One problem is not one problem. It is a mixture of different phases of problem. Once you analyze that phases and action, give priority to each individual. Suppose I'll give an example. Today I have a denied boarding situation. Flight is full and normally every airline books it. So what happens is we need to do it. It's a problem that at least 2 or 3 people will not get a seat on the board of the flight. And how to handle it? We will know at least 3 hours in advance. What we do it, we know any passengers who can go and talk, sir, your travel is very important today or not. So he will say, no, I have. So definitely in a bigger aircraft or 354-seater aircraft, you will have at least 4 or 5. No, I'm ready. I can give one day. I can go tomorrow. So the moment he says, we give him a denied boarding for him so that he walks away and without any problem, all other passengers check in. He will be given a priority on next flight, given a free ticket as the policy matter, and he goes his home and comes back. So that, given an example, this is how we divide the priority, delays handling. Like if a delay happens, we delay. What is the delay? Is delay going to be continuous? Like there are certain engineering delays. Sometimes engineer says 1 hour I'll able to rectify it, but sometimes he is not able to rectify because certain pairs are not available. When he goes inside, he said no, something is wrong. So it is a current delay. So at that time, the first hour we'll know it's going to be recurrent. So we'll give an advance 45 or 1 hour delay. This is delay and refreshments, everything arranged. Any people who are going to miss the flight, before going to the customers, we have our data ready and go to them. This is the thing, sir, your flight, we have already booked you, rebooked you, or do you want any change to this, or do you want to travel today or tomorrow? So we go with option. Like when you go to a shopping mall, you have a full display of products and customer will find your home to choose. So we should give that level of thing to customers to choose. Yeah, I'm okay. So this is what I believe. Problem solving, we need to divide into different areas, select which you can act, divide into the team so that there are certain people who goes in a customer front, handles stocks very well. So put him there. There are people who work in the system. So put him there. So this is how look at it. And I believe that's our best way to handle a problem.
So how do you ensure that solutions implemented remain effective over time, especially as circumstances changes?
Every day is a new day in airport. I cannot put a same yardsticks to every day. And everything, we need to be dynamic in nature. We need to change according to the situation. But fundamentals remain the same. Passenger has to be taken care. That is a fundamental. So you are able to find a solution. Recently, we had a crisis. You must have heard about Dubai flood, and we could actually give a proper tailor-made solutions for passengers. We said, please give us time. This is your requirement. We rerouted via other, not Dubai, via other Delhi, Bombay. But it took some time to get approvals because when we route to other airlines, we need to take all approvals to that particular airline that you should accept our passenger through our. So that's how every time there's a change. But fundamental remains the same, that passenger is your king. You need to ensure that the best possible solutions should be given to them.
So can you share an example of challenge that provided an important learning opportunity for you?
You might have heard about 2016, August 3, when an Emirates aircraft which landed and went into a crisis. And that was the biggest of any airline never wanted to face that thing. But the aircraft which took off from Trivandrum to Dubai and had went into a crisis. So that was a scenario. And it was a 284 passengers on board with crew. It was August 3rd, 2016 and 2 o'clock. Imagine the number of phone calls. We had no option. And for God's grace, it was totally safe. And because of our practices at Dubai, the emergency crisis management woke up, and within the shortest time, they could evacuate the entire passengers out of the aircraft and made them to safe places, as well as what we call ensure that they're comfortable in that. People who had a problem, entire one terminal area in the terminal was evacuated. Sheikh Rashid Hospital, certain area was completely kept ready to handle. But what we have seen, that so beautifully organized, and the passengers came in when they came back after the crisis. They traveled after 3 or 4 days or 5 days. That they replied, it was so fantastic. Phone calls. Everybody could make to call to their relatives. Immediately they went to the center. So luckily there was no issues. Everything was safe. No injuries, very minor injuries. which had no major impact on people. Yes, people all had the traumatic charge on them. That was one thing. Number two, I would like to say more than the crisis, next day morning means it happened on third. Fourth morning, we had a regular schedule operation from Trivandrum, and we had to ensure our team is powerful to handle the passenger who is coming in front of you. The previous day aircraft went into a problem, and next day handling, and we could ensure, give that convenient answers to the passengers that there's no issues, everything is handled well, and you're safe. And it was a full flight next day also. So the dramatic thing, we took, all the staff took it, and we handled. That was another, in my 31 years of experience, how we handle a crisis, a real-time crisis. Most airlines, no airlines would love to do it, but yes, because of the training, because of the SOPs, because of the practices, we do it. I think we could able to do it. And we facing the media, we never went. We gave a pakka every half an hour. I used to respond to the media. Yeah, this is the thing which we used to be supplied from Dubai. So I believe the practice, the calmness, and the communication skills gives you that thing to handle any crisis.
So as have you told in the beginning, the aviation was by accident. So what inspired you to pursue your career in airport operation and airline management?
Here, the most thing is that you're meeting everyday new people. You're meeting from the top corporate to the most humble people going for a menial job. You are meeting the most celebrities in the airport. So that's one of the most important, and communicating with them. That was one of the things which, and everyday you do a better job, go home, and you feel, yeah, I've done something good. So that was one of the major things which carried me and ensured that I'm still in aviation. As I said, it's India's decade on aviation. We want that India grows to the global aspiration of that we are the biggest aviation market in the world. So for that, we need to develop a lot of human resources. We need to develop frontline leaders handling such a big movement. So I believe my intention now with my experience is to develop that area as a fundamentals into developing the leaders, frontline leaders who can take over the role in future.
So what has been the most memorable moment of your career so far?
Every time I land in Dubai, I feel a person who lived in the small cities, never dreamt of anything, and flying in business class, top 5 airline in the world, landing in the biggest airport in the world. So this is what something which we're looking at it. So that gives you a so big thing that makes you so much proud that yes, this is what I have achieved from what, and it's all God's wish that I'm here today. But I want to tell our generation who is going to come that you should look at as a career, not only as a job, but it is as a thing where it is a commitment, it is a dedication, so that we give the best of service to our customers or passengers who come. We have so many humble people to fly. One of the memorable, I remember in Jet Airways days, being airport manager, I used to go to all domestic flights have a ticketing counter outside. You must have seen it, ticketing desk outside. So one day, as our team members, they were enjoying, there's no crowd was there in ticketing desk. Our team was enjoying, a cashier was there. So when I walked in, I saw 2 humble people in their very simple dress, they're standing and they could not speak. And our team was busy. They never thought these people had come. Then I don't know what clicked to me. I said in Malayalam, I saw it's Malayali look, but they started speaking Tamil. So I knew little bit Tamil because being a Coimbatore background. Then immediately I called somebody. They said, now what I understood, they had money. They're flying for the first time and they don't know how to ticket. We understood what a problem. Then the ticket was issued. We took them in. They took 2 bundles of 100 notes and gave to us. So, and we counted it. And that was it's a manual tickets. Took them, told the crew, and crew said, don't worry, we will take care of. And they were taken, sent. They said, before we go, how you are going to come back? He said, return will come on train. They were farmers from Kanyakumari. They had their elder brother in Mumbai, the family. Husband, wife, and a child, 3 of people. Very simple, humble. We'll never expect, I'm talking of 2000. Now we expect a lot of, but at that moment, nobody used to do. So that was one of the things I will never forget my life. And we could give the best as a humble person we could give to them. So that's, I believe, one of the other memorable time I went through that.
In the initial stage, and when we talk about you after 29 years, What is the change in the definition of aviation industry in your mind?
In 93, when I joined, it was a luxury. If I define aviation, air transport was a luxury. Only elite people used to fly, and the crowd was some. Now, the definition, it's a normal transport business. It's called air transport, rail transport, road is one among them. But here, the movements and numbers are gone up. So we have to have more vibrant people around to ensure that this business is done and people get there. They want to go fly fast. The time is a question, and they should be served the best of services. So this is what I believe the definition has changed from 93 to present, and it will go change further. I believe it should become like a bus transport where I am coming to the airport, buy a ticket and board the flight. Now you need not to buy. You go take your mobile, buy, put on Digi walk in, train, board the aircraft. Nobody should touch you. No should be contact. That's how we are looking. Domestic crowd should fly because domestic you only require security check. Now the body scanners will fit it. You can't scan in front of a scanner, go in as board the flight. That should be the future. What I look at it.
So, how have you used challenges as opportunities for growth and development in your career?
Every challenge is an opportunity. But what I've seen, most of our people, our friends, don't take challenge as an opportunity. They take challenge as a difficult. They take challenge as something which is blocking them and they move away. We should be able to go and hit it. We should go and go in depth into that one, understand and move forward. So I believe people who are able to move forward, I'll never use the word successful. I will say people who are able to move forward is that they who converts the challenge into opportunity, and people who cannot, they stuck because they take it as a stump or stone which stops them, or it's a challenge which they cannot grow. It's nothing is impossible. That's I believe that nothing is impossible for a human being to overcome it. It's your attitude, how you look at it and move forward.
So, how have major transactions or changes in your career path impacted your growth and development as a professional?
Now I'm reached a level I believe I need to contribute more into building this aviation industry as India's decade. I'm not saying that India wide, where I am in a place, I should bring people in forward and say that this is your time. So I should be a motivator. I should play a role of direction. I should be a support system so that the overall experience, what I've learned, what I've gathered all 31 years should be utilized properly so that I move forward. Today morning we had a discussion with one of my friends. He is ex-Jet Airways guy. He's an IT professional. We said how now airports are getting more privatized and how we can use technology, IT, information technology into a seamless, basically into customer frontage and customer engagement areas. So we had, and he said shocking. He's basically an IT expert in operations area. He said, Vijay, I said, no, I'm not trying to ask you a question. I'm trying to build a foundation where I look at maybe because we are into a decade where we want India to be the top or business market, aviation business market in the world. So how we can do it? So you should think and you should able to give me guidance in terms of technology where we can work. So I believe people like me should move forward not only for the position, only for ensure that the young generation who is in the very vibrant generation, vibrant than us, more energetic than us, they should be deployed. Energies should be channelized properly so that they are going in the right direction. So that's the vision I look at it for me in coming 5 or 10 years. I look at it.
So, how has your career evolved over time from your early days to your current role?
When I think of today myself, initially I joined, it was a job. I need to get a job. That was the first level. I got a job, slowly learned the tricks of the business, learned the business. Now, what I believe is that I have reached a level, the exposure and experience, what I've seen. So luckily for me, my exposure in Abu Dhabi, Dubai and Doha, these 3 international airports given me a lot of lessons. Particularly Dubai, every day we are in and out of Dubai. So that's because of flights. And Doha, I worked for 3.5 years. So that's one thing. I worked in Coimbatore, Port Blair, so in India. So this exposure has achieved a lot of information for me to become confident. And this confidence, I believe I should utilize it for benefit of to ensure that this aviation grows in its right track.
So, have there been any unexpected twist or surprise in your career journey that have led to new opportunities or directions?
Every day it's a new thing, but one thing which have disturbed us, I will say that the disturbed, like which unnecessarily we were put, all the airport managers were put into a regulatory checks. Basically, because of a duty free, which in themselves they didn't do a proper job, and we had to be pulled in that area. Being an airport, even if I don't belong to the government agency, here everybody acts as a stakeholder, very responsible stakeholder for national integrity, national security, and other things. So what happens? You are governed by the lot of laws. So once you are in this airport, so you are equally accountable like a government employee, where you are also put on checks by the government regulatory agencies. Like in airport, you have intelligence agencies, you have regulatory Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. So that sometimes the behavior, not everybody, there are certain officers, their behaviors makes us okay, make you feel that why I'm doing my job, but why this? So these are things which had harmed us mentally, but it's for a very short while. It's not that, but it is one of the challenges I think most of the people in aviation, when they are in the airport operational environment, go through, because everything is under checks, because particularly international operation, not domestic, international, where a lot of regulatory agencies are involved. So that is a point we believe we need to be doubly, as I said, we need to be transparent, we should be clear, we should not have something which cover up our side. We do something and we cover something else. It should not. The moment you do it, one day or other, you will get into a problem. So we all believe that who are in the operational area to be as transparent, so that you are easily visible from the glass outside.
So, as an airport service manager, you likely interact with various stakeholders, including airline executives, airport authorities, and regulatory bodies.
Yes.
How do you handle pressure from these stakeholders, especially when their interests conflict?
Conflicts of interest are there between different stakeholders, and airport operator is there. We have regulatory agencies like immigration, customs, and the aviation security group. These are the major three people. Over and above, you have Bureau of Civil Aviation Security and DGCA. These people, the conflict of interest comes in where people try to put across certain things, which is you have right, others would know it is my right. So there are certain times I believe as an adaptability, we need to adapt to the situation. We need to go with them, understand when they talk, just be quiet. Once the meeting is over, don't confront with them, don't argue with them. After that, once the meeting is over, go and talk to them. I believe this is what we are looking at it, and this is that. So I've seen that most of the time they agree to you, because in the meeting they are also in that level of energy when they talk. So at that time we should talk. So most of the time, even as I head now last 7 years, I'm heading the airline operators committee, which is a group of airlines in this airport who are members, and we as an AOC we become a part of IATA at each airport. We talk on behalf of IATA to regulatory agencies as well as airport operator. So there are different conflicts comes in between the airlines. So this is the time I get into my role starts, where we need to know I cannot side with one. We cannot say no, this is right, this is wrong at one phase. So we need to listen, discuss, then talk individually, then understand. Let us not do this. So I believe the situation at that point you should able to manage it very confidently, quietly, and assertively, so that you come out of that time, then discuss in a very informal way. Things works very faster than at that moment. For me, like we have 11 o'clock tea break at the airport, and at that other time, most of the airport managers are free and they come. Not only airport manager, airport operator is there, and other regulatory agencies they come and have. So what I've seen, more than the scheduled meetings, this type of informal meetings give better solution, because you are at that point you are not representing that particular, you are in a normal informal way, so your solutions comes faster than anything which comes on a formal meetings. So I believe this is how we manage. It's a management, how you manage situations.
The role of an airport service manager can be demanding and often involve long hours, unpredictable schedules. How do you maintain your healthy work-life balance despite the pressure of your profession?
Every day is not the same day. So if today an ideal condition, no problem. Tomorrow it not be. So you have to extend. So now, so many years we are used to that, and we manage and ourselves like in peak season when you have multiple departures from one station, you go have 1 hour, 2 hours sleep, come back and start doing. So we try to balance each things differently. Food habits also, don't eat too much. That's how my philosophy is that half stomach is most important when you work in the airport because your sleeps are almost disturbed. And so I believe it's just an attitude where we should able to fix it.
So, what are the differences in the approach of to innovation and technology adoption between Jet Airways and Emirates?
I will not compare because comparing entities is not good. Jet Airways has its own merits in its place. It was one of the most dynamic airline in India, most dynamic domestic airline, which actually brought so many first in Indian aviation. Jet was one of the airlines which started the check-in system, which started the boarding pass, everything, and you had the hip printers in Bombay. I've seen where if a crowd is there, people used to walk with hip printer and this thing, you print your boarding pass, avoid the queues without baggage. So this technology absorption from Jet Airways, they were good. But yes, being an Indian company, it has its own limitations. You cannot spend because as IT and technologies are very expensive, so it cannot be, you need to look at other balances. But Emirates is one of the airlines which I've seen adopting technology is a top priority. They don't look being the giants. They have first priority is we need to bring new things. That's how I've seen Emirates doing totally different thing, which I think like bringing a 380. I don't think no airline in the world has a 123 fleet of aircraft. So different entities are different and it has its own merits.
So, how does Emirates incorporate feedback from vendors to drive continuous improvement in its vendor management practice?
At my level, we will not able to know what, but yes, as a customer feedback, we are taking on board feedbacks from our in-flight entertainment system. There's an area where you can give the feedbacks that's being collected. Other vendors, I'm not sure that at the station level, at the higher levels, definitely they will have more clarity of that one and more wider thing which I'm not aware of.
So, based on your experience, what do you believe are the keys to success in your field?
I believe the truth is a very important part. Transparency is first and foremost. I believe to very at home also, at work also, so that people don't misunderstand. You're clear. And they should know you're going to do this. They should know that this is what I'm going to do it. So that's one thing. Communication skill, adaptability, and team building. These are 4 or 5 things I strongly believe. I take it every time and everything I look into that angle. And recognizing your team is the most other important thing. Honoring that. That's, I believe, it need to be done for the team.
So, what advice would you give to someone just starting their career in the aviation industry?
My advice is that first is transparency. Be true to yourself. 1. 2. Challenges will come because aviation is full of challenges. Not only every job has a challenge in different ways, but let us face the challenge. Don't move away from the challenge. And challenge will definitely make you strong, make you powerful, and help you to move forward. And the third one I say is that the communication skill. We need to have an excellent communication. What you think, if you are not able to tell people around you, above you or below you. So this is most important, how better you are. So that's the thing I believe. I tell my young generation, aviation is a fantastic industry, dynamic in nature, very volatile in nature also, but dynamic in nature. You learn everyday new thing, and which is, I believe, the satisfaction part is the most important because of the dynamism. You meet new people, new technologies, and technological adoption by the aviation industry is faster than any other industry, I believe. And the money spent, the budget spent is very high during that one. So that's the thing I believe. So my suggestion, my guidance for the new generation or leaders who are going to join, please take aviation industry. It is the most fantastic dynamic industry.
So, if you go back and give yourself or your younger self advice as you were starting your career, what advice would that be to yourself?
Be transparent. 1. Adaptable. Know your communication skill, what you're talking. So these are the 3 things I would give 1, 2, 3 as suggestion to my son also.
So many young professionals may face transactions between different roles or organizations early in their career. What advice do you have for navigating these transactions successfully?
I will always say this: every change in your industry, it will come with a lot of challenges. And the moment you know the challenge is going to be there, prepare yourself to face the challenge. And the moment you start facing the challenge, you will know what it is nothing but certain things which in your life or in your journey, but which is going to benefit you in long term. It is not going to harm you. It is going to only benefit you. So I believe we should take that challenge. Every transaction, every transfer transaction changes is with a full of challenges.
So now we will start a rapid round.
Yeah.
So what is the most critical aspect of airport operations management?
Critical aspect is you should be more dynamic in nature. You cannot be in one place as one. So every area changes, you need to change it.
So how do you prioritize safety in airport operations?
Safety is number one priority in aviation industry. Without safety, safety of our staff, safety of the passengers, safety of the stakeholders around you is the most important thing. So it is number one priority.
What is your approach to handling passenger complaints effectively?
Passenger complaint, I said our aim should be that passengers should benefit without company losing. So this is a fundamental thing, and we should give options, not one thing, at least 2, 3 options so that they can choose and we can handle them. And there are sometimes we need to lose also. So I believe for 100 customers, giving one thing differently for one customer is nothing. You can go ahead and do it. And that, if that guy makes happy, you should be able to do that.
How do you ensure compliance with aviation regulations at your airport?
I believe compliance, the regulations are there to be complied. So there's no way you should break the regulations, rules, SOPs, everything. So your mindset should be prepared to be compliant, which gives you the safety, which gives you the productivity in a higher side. So those are two things. So I believe compliance has no option. It is only to comply.
So what technology or tools do you use to enhance operational efficiency?
We have in operations different ways of different touch points. Like in check-in area, now we have the check-in system is the most advanced one. Check-in system, we are going further in chaos. We are going home check-ins. You can do print your boarding pass at home, come to the airport. That's one. Secondary part is operational area. We have loading the aircraft. We have technology. We have gadgets which helps you to locate all your baggages and cargo into aircraft, and the arriving station will know. That's another technology we use where this arriving station will know in advance that where are the bags, where are the cargoes being loaded in the aircraft. Similarly, preparing the load and balance. Now the systems are prepared. Once you close the flight, it automatically guides you to make it. Initially, we used to do manually. Now it's all done technology. So there are different phases where we do differently. And there are a lot of products available, technological products available. So it depends upon airline which uses that different product. Like we have another new product which is most airlines using is the baggage removal. If your baggage is mishandled and it doesn't come on the flight, and we have a technology which is available right now. The passenger will know from the moment bag is dispatched until it reaches the passenger's hand, he will know the location of baggage, where it is with the driver, it is in the car, that things are there available.
How do you foster a culture of teamwork among airport staff?
I believe the equality, the transparency, and taking everybody together, understanding them. All the fingers are not same. If you look at people of 10 or 20 people, all 20 will not be productive. You need to go individually and make that this is the team. So understand them, what delivery level they can give you, so that you don't get frustrated with that person. That's the most important part, I believe, understanding each team member within you and his pros and cons, and feeding them, supporting them. That gives you that equality. Everybody comes in the same platform, and there are people who are not able to do, but they are able to best advise us. So there are different things in a team when it works. That's why we call it a teamwork. So making a transparency with them that we are all team. We have to we are all going together. That's one thing. Team together, everyone makes more. That's the team.
So what role does customer feedback plays in improving airport services?
passengers are the right judge, because we will not able to judge we might be doing with honest and thing, but there might be some gaps which passengers, this can be done in better way. So a passenger feedback, people around you, asking them how it went well, how we can do much better, improve. Like our boarding processes, we are dynamically changing the boarding process to ensure that customer gets the best. They don't feel that crowd in that how to board the aircraft, because in small airports you have only one aero bridges. Bigger airports you have twin aero bridges. So the boarding takes time. So we need to ensure that we go on a sequential board from the last forward area, so that others are kept. Tell them, deploy team to ensure that, sir, you be seated, madam, you seated, we will board you. So the sequential boarding helps you ensuring that customers are not getting crowded in the check-in area. They have a free flow, nobody touches them. So that is the thing which is dynamic in nature. I believe these are things which we need to do it regularly. So nothing is permanent here.
So my last question, what is that one line that will define you?
I want to be a catalyst for the aviation industry, where we reach to the decade is for Indian aviation. So that's, let me become a catalyst there. And I would like to say for myself.
As we bring this riveting episode of Believe in Future Amazing Mentor to its conclusion, I would like to express my heartfelt appreciation for our distinguished guest, Mr. Vijay Bhushan, for sharing his invaluable experience and wisdom with us. Mr. Vijay Bhushan's career stands as a testament to his unwavering dedication and expertise in airport operations and leadership within airline industry. With track record of success of renowned airlines like Jet Airways and Emirates, he has constantly demonstrated a knack for driving operation excellence, enhancing customer experience, and navigating complex challenges. As he continues to lead teams and spearhead initiatives, Vijay remains a beacon of innovation and collaboration, shaping the future of airport operations with his strategic vision and unwavering commitment to excellence. His legacy of achievements and impact serve as an inspiration of aspiring professionals in the aviation sector, underscoring the importance of leadership, adaptability, and relentless pursuit to excellence in every endeavor. With Vijay Bhushan at the helm, the future of airport operations shine brighter than ever before. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and sharing your life on our show, Amazing Mentor. Thank you, sir.